at First Sight season 15, and let the fireworks begin, y'all. We were talking about this season was boring, but let me tell you, it is heating up, especially in the area of Nate and Stacia. Let me tell you, they was getting a little hot unbothered under the collar. Let the fireworks begin. So first of all, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And I do separate videos on all the separate couples from Married at First Sight. So this video is going to be for Nate and Stacia. Then at the end of this video, you can look here above my head and there'll be a link to go on to the other couples. I hope you'll stick around and watch my other videos. But let's get back to talking about Nate and Stacia, because let me tell you, I enjoyed watching them on the screen, y'all. This is a turnaround from last week. You know, last week I was like, oh, good Lord, these two ain't gonna make it. But you know what? They may be making a believer out of me. I might be becoming a believer, y'all. Don't tell me I'm getting soft, but let me tell you, I was really feeling them this week. First of all, Nate's telling Stacia she cute in the face and small in the waist. You know how they used to say that back in the day, cute in the face and small in the waist? He was laying the compliments on Stacia, telling her that she was gorgeous, she was beautiful. He was like, I like a woman with a small waist, and you got one, and I'm feeling this. He talking about he's feeling her energy when he presses his body up against her. Y'all might want to put the kids to bed for this next episode of Married at First Sight, because I think Nate and Stacia might heat up the camera. And it ain't one-sided. Stacia, who I don't know, I know she was going to be an ice princess, and she was going to be mean, if she was all going to be about money and making money. But let me tell you, Stacia, it was melting on the camera right in front of our eyes. She was boo-hooing, she was crying, she was opening up, she was showing vulnerability, she was telling us things that was deep down in her heart, and I was loving every bit of it. Stacia was talking about this is a dream come true. She is making me a believer. I believe Stacia really, really, really wants this marriage. I'm telling you, y'all. And let me tell you, her desire to be married is making me become a believer that whatever changes she might need to do, she might can pull it off. Because let me tell you, everyone, when they come into a relationship marriage, has to make changes. All these people running around talking about accept me as I am, next. You cannot come into a relationship talking about accept me as I am. Absolutely not. You can come in as you are, but if you're going to mesh with anyone, you're going to have to be prepared to change. You're going to be prepared to mesh with that person. And I like what Stacia's mother told her. She said, you're so big on what the guy's going to have to do for you. What are you going to do for the guy? I love what she said. Where are you going to compromise, Stacia? And I'm so happy to start seeing this softer side of Stacia. Stacia. I probably pronouncing her name wrong, but Stacia, whatever. But what I liked about what she was saying, she is starting to get the mushies on the inside. She is starting to feel this little tingling going on when she with her man. And you know what? And I know what I'm really liking this side of Stacia. Let me tell you, I think Stacia is a poor interviewer. You ever meet those people where you know they can do a job, but when they go to the interview, they bomb the interview. The interview is horrible. Or they can do the job, but they fail the test. They can't pass the test, so they can't end up really getting the job. But we know that if they really got the job, they would be great at it. If they really got, whatever it is they were auditioning for or interviewing for, they probably will be great at it, but they can't seem to get past the interview stage. I think this is Stacia. I think Stacia is horrible, absolutely horrible at dating. And let me tell you why, because when she started talking and talking about the things that she does on date, which is the interview, people, that's the interview. Dating is an interview. When she was on the dating, she would talk about FICO score and all these things she'd be asking the guy about. And I was like, oh my God, that makes the guy's D go like this. And I kept saying, that's horrible, that's horrible. And I think one of the problems with Stacia is, I used to talk about it in some other videos because I actually review this other show, which is Ready to Love. And on that show, I used to say, why are all these women thinking that they're the buyers out here in the dating marketplace? And what I mean by that is women go out with a whole list of things they want, and they go out shopping for a man. And I always say, well, you're not the shopper. You're the seller. They think they're the shopper or the buyer, but you're the seller. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't have to just accept any guy. No, I never said you had to accept any guy. But unless you are proposing to yourself, then you are the seller, which means you're presenting yourself to a guy and he gets to put in an offer for marriage to you. And yes, you can say yes and you can say no, but in the end, you are still the seller. You have to get offers from a man. And I think Stacia used to go out to the dating world as if she were the buyer. Like, you know, she in the real estate, she probably can get this concept. She goes out into the dating world, interview guys, and says, nope, I don't want him, I don't want him. Okay, that works well when you're rejecting men, but what happens when you stumble upon a guy and it's a guy that you want? You can't just go and get that guy and purchase that guy. You still have to wait for that guy to propose to you, to want you. And that's where that idea of women think that they're the buyers goes all wrong. And I think that's what Stacia is. I think Stacia was horrible in the dating world, horrible in the interviewing world. But if she got the job of a wife, she actually might be really, really great at it. Because all that stuff she leads with about herself, about her apartments and her business savvy and all this other kind, it's wonderful, wonderful things. But that's the cherry on top. That's after a man has said, I like her heart. I think she's attractive. I think she's sweet. I love the way she respects me. I love the way she uplifts me. And then he says she's got all that. And the cherry on top is she's good at business. She's intelligent. She's got these great degrees. She's industrious. She's, you know, all these other kind of things. But Stacia leads with all this boss lady stuff. And in fact, it's just not her. Because when they were doing the vows, what I didn't like, you know that part when they come and your family gets to say something about you? What I didn't like about when Stacia and Nate were doing their vows was Stacia's family led with all her business savvy. It was like the first thing out their mouth. She's got 2 degrees. She gets apartment buildings. She does this. It was nothing about her heart. It was nothing about her soul. It was nothing about her tenderness. And I really didn't like that that's what they led with. Because in the end, I think that's how Stacia presents herself. When really, she should be leading with this girl we saw this last week. I really like this Stacia. That other girl, I can find anybody who's a business person. I like this Stacia that we saw this week because she seemed real and she made me want to like her. She made me want to care about her. And in fact, she made me want to root for this couple. And you know what? I am now rooting for Stacia and Nate. Yes, I am. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm rooting for them. I like that this married at first sight opportunity for Stacia lets her leapfrog over the dating, which I don't think she's good at. She can get right to the marriage and she can get right to the part where I think she will excel at. Because one of the things I liked about Stacia, she was very complimentary towards Nate. She told him lots of times how attractive he was, how handsome she was. She said that she appreciated his grind. He told her about the fact that, he was a day trader and he was also in the sales. She liked that about him. She was saying some very complimentary things to him. And I liked that she was sharing and becoming vulnerable with him. I liked that she cried. She was really nervous because she was looking down the whole time. She wouldn't even look in the man's eyes. I was like, Stacia, look up. You can tell she is so used to guarding her heart and protecting herself that even on her wedding day, she couldn't fully be open. She could barely look at him. It wasn't till the end when she finally started looking up and looking into his eyes. And in fact, Stacia is on the after party this week, so be sure to watch my after party video. But she even mentioned as well that she couldn't even look up. She said when she was walking down the aisle, her head was looking at the ground the whole time because she was so afraid to look up and look at Nate. I think now that if Stacia can keep this going, she can turn these lemons into lemonade. All this stuff we've been talking about with Nate, at least me, when I think he's a hustler, he's a scammer, all this kind of stuff. She might be the woman that can turn this around and make a better man out of Nate, just like Nate may be able to make a softer, kinder, sweeter woman out of Stacia or bring that out of her. And I can actually see how these two actually could make it. Stacia says she got 2 degrees with no student loan debt, paid for everything. Listen, girl, if you can figure out how to buy apartment buildings, go to college, get 2 degrees, acquire no student loan debt, you can figure out a marriage. She can do this. Last week, let me talk about Nate now. Last week, I was calling Nate a hustler, a scammer, fake Louis Vuitton, all this other kind of stuff. Don't mean that I don't think that no more. But you know what I liked about Nate this week is he was owning his stuff. He wasn't shying away from it. His friends were talking about like, can we believe that you here dating when before we would have thought you was getting bailed out or something? They're like, you done gone from getting married as opposed to getting bailed out. So you know what? Nate is owning up to that. You know, some of the stuff he was doing early on was not good. He really talks about wanting to change his life. I still think that Stacia is the Ferrari and Nate is maybe the Corvette. They both may be fast cars, but I still think Stacia is a little bit faster than Nate. But if Nate is really turning his leaf over, maybe he could really do it. Because the one thing I saw about Nate this week is he is smitten with Stacia. He absolutely wants this woman. And let me tell you, ain't nothing better than a motivated man. And Nate is motivated. You were seeing this fun, cavalier side of Nate, and that could balance out Stacia because she is so serious. He seemed like he's a little bit more lighthearted, have a little bit more fun, and that might be able to take Stacia's mind off business all the time and acquisitions, and maybe she'll let loose and have a little fun. He might really be able to bring out the fun because they were doing a lot of laughing together, touching, cuddling, kissing. I was here for it, all of it. Nate might be the one to be able to knock these walls down. Let me tell you, he really might be. They were talking about he's a freak in the sheets. That's what his friend said, but he didn't like that. I don't know what these friends be telling, having these part of these vows. I'll be mad if someone said that about me on my wedding day. And Nate didn't like it one bit. He looked over there at his friends and was like, what the heck? And let me tell you, at the wedding, his little friend Megan, the little blonde-haired girl, she was at the wedding. And let me tell you, she was smiling, but she was smiling through some cracks. I'm not quite sure if that friend Megan, that girl who last time was like, how's she gonna feel about your female friends? I'm not sure if that girl wanted to be more than friends with Nate. Because let me tell you, a couple of times they panned the camera to her, and she looked a little bit salty. I'm gonna keep an eye on her, but I sure hope she ain't gonna be no problem from Stacia. But even if she is, I know Stacia can handle her. They were talking about Nate is a little Devo, you know, Devo, and shoot, he didn't know he getting a diva and Stacia. That might actually work well for them because he was like, oh, I love your nails. I can see these couple going and getting their pedicures and manicures together because Nate likes to look good. He likes to dress good. They could be hanging out in the stores, shopping, getting nails and toes done, manicures and massages. I could see them lining up well together, at least in that area. And I like that he took an interest in her business side. Even though I don't like that that's what they were talking about so much, he did ask her about it. He complimented her and said, you know what, I like it about her. I like that I have a wife that's independent and is a boss lady. And I like that he embraced that part of her. I really believe that if these two were out in the dating world, I don't think they would have dated. I don't think that Nate would be able to withstand Stacia because I think Stacia would have led with that business side, and I think it would have turned off Nate, who I think is a little bit more fun-loving, and he would have been turned off. And then I think that Stacia would have been judgmental and critical over Nate, and I don't think that she would have given Nate the time of day. But here they are, married at first sight. They've leaped over the dating process. They're immediately put in the marriage process. And let me tell you, I can see how they could work out. Because if they are both hustlers, if they are both hardworking, and they bring that hardworking ethic from the outside world into their marriage, then they can figure it out. And if Nate is a hustler, a scammer, or a salesperson, and he knows how to say all the right things, then he will know how to say all the right things to Stacia. He'll know how to be candy to her ears. He'll know how to soften her heart. And let me tell you, as long as he can deliver on what he says, they're going to be okay. They actually might make it. The part is, can Nate deliver? And can Stacia give him time to deliver, or will she be impatient and not have the patience for him? But the one thing I like about Nate is he already knows he's got something to prove because he said it right up front. He says, I'm going to work hard to prove to her that I'm the husband she wants me to be and needs me to be. He says he's about to get sharp and get on his A game. This is what he says. So he's already recognizing that he needs to step it up and step up to the plate, and said he is ready for the task. He is ready for the challenge. And I like that when Nate said that. You know, they both end up buying each other Polaroid cameras as the wedding gift to each other. Stacia loved the ring that Nate gave her, which I thought was nice. She wasn't getting no woman who was like, I don't like this ring. I was happy she liked the ring. They both end up giving each other Polaroid cameras, and they both kind of had the same message, talking about making memories for each other. Stacia's already looking down the line, talking about what she's going to tell her kids later on down the line about being married at first sight. I love that she was envisioning her life with him down the line. I really, really enjoyed that. And Nate said that, you know, he admitted that he has some insecurity, and he said he hopes his wife can accept that and help him along. And let me tell you, if they can do all these things that they talk about on today, they can make it because they have a strong start, and that strong start is physical attraction. That's very, very important in relationships, and they have it. Fireworks. Like I said, y'all, you might want to put the kiddies to bed this season because I think we're gonna be coming up on some sexy scenes with Nate and Stacia. I hope the fireworks are fireworks and love making and kisses and love, and not the fireworks that was first thing is gonna happen with them, which was gonna be drama and mess. I really hope it's some nice fireworks. But anyway, that's it, y'all. Please watch my other videos here with the click above here, and let me know down in the comments what you think of Nate and Stacia. Are you on board with them, or are you getting a little bit more on board? But I'm getting excited about these two, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.